Hi. So I'm here. This is day 3 of my car food adventure, and it is the day before the 4th. And so, what we have to keep in mind for the next couple of days is that people in their cars may be drinking much more often than usual. So, I'm going to try to stay off the mobile parts of the road and try to stay kind of stationary. That should work pretty well. And I'm also observing a Ramadan and a vegan fast throughout this time with a community of amazing people. And definitely do believe that it is an answer to some very powerful prayers that I got the opportunity to release my apartment at the same time that some other things occurred that just made it seem like a really good idea to not commit to a permanent place right now. Um, and I've just been doing a lot of reflection on what is what is home and what is really in the balance when we're feeling like we'd like to be home. And I had a moment yesterday actually that I didn't think to share with you. But I had been working all day and had about 9 hours in and had gotten a lot of good stuff done, but was kind of hitting what seemed like some barriers in terms of some different regulations I needed to keep up with for the business. And I thought there's nothing complicated really going on in my business, and so I was curious like why that seemed to keep appearing. And I left the internet area where I was and went back to the car, and I was kind of regrouping and kind of just being with myself about it a bit, and kind of reflecting. And I had this sort of moment of feeling what I would describe in the past as loneliness, a sort of disconnection, as I want to go home. And what was so intriguing about it and neat was that because I was in the car and because that is my ultimate destination right now at the end of my day, I very quickly discovered that that feeling is with me often, um, even when I have a home with walls, right? Um, and I discovered the depth of some of the depth anyway of that I often feel as a person who has lived alone for most of the time for a long time. Um, that it's very usual for me to come home at night and really kind of wonder like, what do I do now? There's not immediately someone to talk to. This is probably how the business got started. There was no one immediately to talk to. There's no one to immediately sort of engage with. And all of the spaces seemed bigger than me, if that makes sense. They just seemed like I was sort of rattling around in them, unless I was entertaining or unless someone was over. And that's been really powerful for me to take note of, because the idea of home, we do really equate with walls, and I don't have any walls right now, and yet all of Los Angeles has seemed like home for me since the very first time that I met people from Los Angeles, and then the moment I arrived, the first time, the second time, every time. Every single time I get on a plane and come back to LA, it feels deeply home to me. And now having the opportunity to spend each night in a new place if I want to, or in a place that I just know that I love, that I sort of cherish, and not having to kind of split my energy by thinking, well, am I going to go visit there? And then I need to reserve some energy to go home afterwards. I don't have to do that right now, and I'm just so honored that I get to even know that I get to discover that. And I was sharing this morning with a friend about this transition, and she hadn't heard about it yet, and she was, of course, expecting that I would be in the same place that I've been for a while, and as was I. And um, I said, "Gosh, like this is such a powerful moment, and it's such a powerful opportunity to just cherish the town." So I'm so thankful for it, and I'm so thankful to be in a town where every single street is miraculously beautiful and diverse, and where I know so many lovely places, and where I'm so thankful for my energetic intuitions about sort of where the exact right spots are, and that those spots are always available to me. So I just feel really blessed to be, in this moment and in this learning space. And it really is something that I wouldn't have pressed myself to do, even though I've thought about it occasionally. But I even told her, I may continue to do this when it becomes very, very viable to live 10 other ways. This really does feel like home, and I don't feel void at the end of it, or at the end of my tasks for the day. I don't come into here and feel void. And I sort of had that moment of it yesterday, but then I realized, oh, it's not because I'm in the car. It's not because there's not another location to go to. It's because it's actually diminished by not having to go home and sort of take that trek to somewhere where I will be by myself and sort of still rattling around. And then the other piece is I just got done doing some work on the side of the road in Beverly Hills earlier, and thank goodness for great internet opportunities. And so I got done with that, and I thought, well, my gym is closed tomorrow for the holiday, and so I suppose that I should go over there. And then I thought, well, I really, because that's where I get to take a shower. It's pretty exciting, but the hot water hasn't really been working actually the last few days, so it's less exciting. But then I realized I'm really not dirty, and I've been eating raw food all day, and so I'm really very clean, like inside and out. And so I probably won't do that today. And I'll just wait till Sunday morning, and it'll be fine. Um, or, I'll go somewhere else. So there's just a few, really deep, interesting things going on that I just didn't know I'd be considering or getting to really engage with. And I'll keep you apprised on them. That's kind of why I'm starting this, video series, because it's pretty powerful, really. And I also am going to be sharing what I'm eating during this time, because as you know, as many, many of you ask me, what do you eat on the run? Which is partly why we came up with Munchos, right? Because they're great, great go-with-you food. But a girl cannot live on Munchos alone. Even the proprietor of Munchos will tell you that. And so, yes, I had my Munchos today, but I've also got, a pound of carrots nearby. I've also got a pound of cherries nearby. Thank goodness for cherries that are $1.50 a pound right now. Fantastic. But I buy them regardless of the price, so it's just a bonus. There's clearance bread in here that I got a couple of days ago, and there's limes in my little paring knife to put in my water every morning. So it remains very civilized. It's a very civilized situation over here, and I'm thinking about getting some seeds. But I would have to be very disciplined about when I ate them, obviously, because I don't have refrigeration. So my body would have to tell me, yes, I'm for sure going to want those tomorrow or in 4 hours or whatever, because otherwise I'll be limited, and I don't want to throw them away because that would be sad. So, do I have anything else? I'm not sure. Oh, I have a couple of Odwalla bars. And that's more sugar than I usually eat, but I do like their flavors. I think they have kind of fun flavors, and they're certainly one of the better on the run bars, and one of the very few vegan ones. And then going through this time of fasting and reflection and prayer with my Ramadan group, they're a good option. So I'm not fasting during the day, just so you know. Normally with Ramadan you would. But I am not. So, and I'm turning that light back up, so you may have had to adjust to that too. The light just went down on the computer. So I think that's all, and I'll keep you apprised on the next round, and I'll keep you apprised on the dietary changes as well. Peace out.